All righty, thank you. Good morning, everyone. Buenos dias. Councilmember Ricardo Pacheco. So we're going to have everyone's attention. Thank you, Carolyn. I want to first of all thank everyone that's here today, this morning, for the state of the city and this opportunity to be here together to enjoy breakfast. But before we go on, I want to thank the Baldwin Park Adult School, the Culinary School, who's done this fabulous breakfast for us. So let's give them a great hand. Before I introduce some of the dignitaries that are here, at this point, it gives me a great pleasure and an honor to introduce first the Baldwin Park Unified School District and the board president, Jack P. White. Mr. Jack P. White, if you could thank you, let's thank him. Also, Blanca Rubio, the vice president, Baldwin Park Unified School District, and Cristina Lucero, board member, is here. Thank you very much. We'll also recognize, not here at this time, Hugo Seck, board member, and Teresa Vargas as well. Then we'll go over, thank you very much. And at this point, we're going to go over to the Valley County Water District Board of Directors. We have President Lynette Pacheco. Lynette? Thank you, Lynette Pacheco. Also, Vice President of the Valley County Water Board, Mariana Lake. And we'll also introduce the others, board member Armando Macias, Margarita Vargas, and the newly appointed to the Valley County Board. Let's give him a great hand, Mr. Ken Woods, back there. Thank you, board member. We will also go over to some of our commissioners that we have here. We have Recreations and Community Service Commissioner. We have Joanne Watkins. Joanne? Thank you, Joanne, for being here. Love you. She was the first family I met in Baldwin Park in 1979. Thank you and your family for many, many years. Also, from the Planning Commission, we have the Commissioner David Muse. David, all right, buddy. We have also from the City of Baldwin Park, we have Councilmember Ricardo Pacheco. Thank you, Ricardo. We have also Councilmember Susan Rubio. And with us shortly will be Vice Mayor Monica Garcia and Councilmember Marlene Garcia as well. So we'll move over to, thank you. I want to also thank the Senior Director of the Baldwin Park B-PACE, also Dr. Kerr, John Kerr. Thank you. And also Denise Tarnatari. Thank you, Denise. Thank you very much. From Waste Management, who's also assist us and contribute to this great morning event that we have here, Carolyn Anderson. Thank you, Carolyn. And one of the reps as well, Terry Muse. Thank you. And don't want to forget a person that was also part of making this beautiful performing art possible. That is Bob Bimble, who also is part of the Historical Society. Thank you, Bob. Bob, just to let everyone know, overlooks the actual history of Baldwin Park as well. And he helped put together a historical book that I think is still for sale, right, Bob? So let's get that going. Learn more about Baldwin Park. Also, we have from Kaiser, we have Reina Aro. Reina, I thought I saw her a little while ago. Maria. And we also, what is this one right here from Kaiser? Chief. Huh? Okay, also from Kaiser, Chief Operation Raymond. Can't pronounce the last name. Hi, Reina. The gentleman here also from Kaiser, Raymond's the first name? Huh? Payment. Okay, thank you very much for being here. Sorry about that. All righty, real quick, I'm going to have Councilmember Susan Rubio come up and share some words, also followed by Councilmember Ricardo Pacheco. We're going to be brief, but before I forget, we have a special person, I almost skipped her and I can't do that, who flew in from Washington, D.C., just got in this morning, and that's our newly elected Congresswoman, to be here, that is here today with us, Grace Napolitano. Let's give her a great hand. We'll have our Congresswoman say some words, and it's such a great honor to be able to have her here as well. And also our condolences. We attended her daughter's funeral a couple of months back, so it's a great honor to be able to have our new representative come in from Washington, D.C., flying this morning and be here with us today. So at this point, let's give a great hand to the Honorable and Distinguished Congresswoman Grace Napolitano. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor. It is a beautiful morning. You can't tell you how wonderful it is to leave Washington 40-degree weather and come to California's beautiful sunshine and very warm atmosphere. It is a pleasure to begin to listen. I'm very eager to learn more about the cities, but I have a great respect for the work that has been done by the council, by the school board, by the law enforcement, by the veterans. I've gotten to know some of the folks, and I'm very, very much looking forward to working to see how we can help this community get a little better service. And I'd like to introduce my my district director, Ben Cardenas. You got to know him. He runs our office in El Monte. We moved into Judy Chu's old office, so if anybody's looking for us, we don't have our cards printed yet. But it is really a pleasure to see the involvement of the youth, your culinary arts, the fact that you have a combination of folks that are your leadership from all angles. And I can see the diversity, and I thank you very much for allowing us to be part of this great city, and look forward to working with all of you, and especially with your children and your veterans. God bless.
Thank you very much, Congresswoman, for being here today. Before I go on, I also want to introduce and acknowledge Vijay Singhal, our CEO, City of Baldwin Park. Vijay, thank you for being here. Also, our police chief, Lily Hatzel, thank you for being here. Captain Mike Taylor, thank you for being here, and all the other officers that are with him. We also want to acknowledge Manny Carrillo, Park and Recreations Director. Thank you, Manny. Also, Mark Estam, Community Development Director. Thank you, Mark. And how could I forget our City Attorney, Joe Pannoni? Thank you for being here today. I want to also thank Personnel Commissioner Barry Liu. Thank you, Barry Liu, for being here. Recreation and Community Services Commissioner Cecilia Bernal. Thank you, Cecilia, for being here. And also thank Church of the Redeemer for the great job they do in our community. And also, I believe that we have our City Treasurer, Maria Contreras. Thank you, Maria. Our City Clerk, Alejandra Avila. Thank you very much. Before I also forget, I want to thank Royal Coaches for assisting us in this great breakfast as well. And I will be thanking all those individuals. So Jimmy Salazar, let's give him a great hand. At this point, we want to stay on time, so I'm going to have the council members come up here and give a brief good morning to each and every one of you. So at this point, I'm going to have Council Member Susan Rubio.
Good morning, everyone. What a great morning it is this morning, isn't it? Thank you so much for being here. It's always exciting to see our seniors, our youth, Congresswoman. Thank you so much for joining us today. It's an honor to have you represent us. And I always take a time to say to our school district, I am a teacher, and every time I have you guys here, I want to say how much I brag about us. Everywhere I go, I know we have one of the best districts. So thank you so much for what you do for our kids, our teachers, our community, and to all our team, Parks and Recs, the city attorney, everyone at the city. I can't mention all of them, but thank you so much. And I want a big round of applause to our police too, who's been working really hard. Let's give them a round of applause. This is how we get things done, talking really fast. So thank you so much for being here. To our seniors, it's always a joy to be here every morning. When I see you out there working hard, I always aspire to be like you, active, engaged, and thank you so much for being role models for us. And have a great day. Thank you. Well, allow me to introduce our council member, Ricardo Pacheco, who will also say some words. Thank you.
Thank you very much for my introduction. It's good to see everybody here. Is everyone enjoying their breakfast today? All right, good. You know, the other day, my wife was out in Washington, D.C. on a conference. My son woke me up at about 3:30 a.m. because my alarm clock was blinking. I turned around, looked at my telephone, and I had a message from our emergency services, from our police department, that there was a large, major accident that occurred here in Baldwin Park where some telephone poles were knocked down. So we had a lot of traffic, if you noticed, during the week, all along the freeway there's all along on Puente Avenue. But thanks to our police department and our fire services and Edison, they were able to quickly address it. So another round of applause for our police department. Does such an outstanding job in our community. But I wanted to thank all of you for being here today. It's important that we all get together and listen and talk about the city and the issues that are addressing and that are concerning to all of us, and to hear new ideas from our residents. So we're here to come together as a community, to hear new ideas, to talk about the challenges that we face here in our community. As you'll hear today, a number of issues that are important to our community to hear. So with that, I also want to state that my wife, who's on the president of the Valley County Water District, went to a conference in Washington, D.C. And one of the issues that are going to be important that they're addressing on that water board is issues with water conservation and a lot of with the growing population that we have and how we use our water. And especially, my wife was sharing with me how important it is that we all become aware about the issues in the Bay Delta and how that impacts our water supply here in California, how it also addresses issues with the cost of water and how we have to pay for water and how the whole system works. So I know they went to our Congresswoman Grace Napolitano during that time to talk to her about water issues, and she's always been very supportive and aware of those issues. So we want to also thank you for being here and for also listening to the issues that we have here in our community. Thank you very much, all of you, and enjoy this evening.
Thank you, Councilmember Susan Rubia and Councilmember Ricardo Pacheco. At this point, Councilmember Marlene Garcia.
Thank you, and good morning. I'm sorry I was a little bit late. I was listening to the President give his report this morning and how he was thanking Congress for approving again the VAWA Act. And for those of you who are not familiar with the VAWA Act, it's the Violence Against Women Act. So it was reapproved. And as many of you know, I am a survivor of domestic violence, and this is near and dear to my heart, and I will always speak against this type of violence against any women. I was so thrilled this morning, actually was thrilled yesterday morning when I heard that Congress had reapproved the act. And so now women, and especially women without a voice, and these are immigrant women and gays and also women of Indian tribes are now protected on this act. So I want to thank Congress for doing that. And I want to also thank you all for being here today. As you know, we are faced with many challenges, not only the city of Baldwin Park, but many cities throughout the nation, if you will. We're hearing a lot of cities that are filing for bankruptcy right now with the elections going on in the city of Los Angeles. That is the top news. The city of Los Angeles will become one day insolvent because of all of the debt, the future debt incurred. And so we need to be really paying attention to this, because as our community is not immune to these types of challenges, we are also being faced with having to make tough decisions to make sure that our city stays afloat and that you continue to receive the services that you've been accustomed to receiving. So again, we thank you for being here today to hear the message from the mayor on what the city of Baldwin Park is attempting to do to address these issues. And it's important that you become informed and you get the correct information firsthand versus hearing rumors out in the community, which is, to me, truly sad when people start making these rumors and innuendos and misinformation. So get the information firsthand, folks, and your being here today is a testament that you are here to do exactly that. Thank you very much.
Thank you. I want to also recognize George Silva, Planning Commissioner. Thank you for being here, George, and thank you, Credit Union, for assisting us with all this. Also, Linda Noriega, thank you very much, the General Manager for the Valley County Water District. Yesterday, I had an opportunity to attend a funeral for a long employee from the Valley County Water District by the name of Mr. Garcia, William Garcia, who served and worked for the Valley County District for over 17 years, a resident since 1950. Our condolences goes out to the family and also all those individuals that were affected by his sudden death. So at this point, I think I've introduced just about everyone. We're going to go make our way into the actual auditorium, and want to let everyone know the speech today is only no more than 20 minutes, so we're going to get to the point. So at this point, I want to thank everyone. Oh, before I forget, Anthony Bejarano just walked in. Senior was a former elected official from the Ballpark Unified School District. Thank you for being here. We'll see you inside.
Good morning. Good morning once again. My name is Vijay Singhal. I'm the CEO of the great city of Baldwin Park. And on behalf of the city, I would like to thank you all for joining us today for our annual State of the City address. So let's get the program started. At this time, it gives me great pleasure to invite Honorable Council Member Pacheco to lead us in invocation. Please welcome Council Member Ricardo Pacheco.
Thank you, Mayor. If we could all please stand and join us in an invocation. And well, first of all, good morning, everybody. Welcome to our beautiful State of the City. I hope you've all enjoyed your wonderful breakfast, and I want to thank our chef, Chef Jeff, for doing a wonderful job this morning. They're a part of our culinary arts program here at B-Pace, as was mentioned earlier, so they did a wonderful job on our breakfast. So let's give them a round of applause. So before we get started, I also just want to get together to thank God for all the wonderful gifts that He's given this community and continue in prayer this morning. So I want to share a prayer to you by the great Dr. Maya Algulo. Heavenly Father, thank you for your presence during the hard and mean days, for then we have you to lean upon. Thank you for your presence during the bright and sunny days, for then we can share that which we have with those who have less. And thank you for your presence during the holy days, for when we are able to celebrate with you and our families and our friends. For those who have no voice, we ask you to speak for those who feel unworthy. We ask you to pour your love out in waterfalls of tenderness. For those who live in pain, we ask you to bathe them in the river of your healing. For those who are lonely, we ask you to keep them company. For those who are depressed, we ask you to shower upon them the light of hope. Dear Creator, you're the borderless sea of substance. We ask you to give to all the world of which we need the most peace. Amen. Mayor, thank you. Thank you very much.
All right, at this point we have Vice Mayor Monica Garcia.
Good morning. It's so great to see all of you here. We have so much information to share with our community today, so thank you so much for your participation. At this point, it gives me great pleasure to introduce Humberto Monti Montenegro, a longtime resident of Baldwin Park. He's going to lead us in the flag salute. Why don't we give him a round of applause? Yeah. As he makes his way up here, I'm going to read your bio. So please come on up, Mr. Montenegro. Monti was born in 1929 in Catalina Island and has lived in Baldwin Park for 78 years. Monti recalls in 1937 there was a great flood where it rained for 20 days straight. He served in the Marine Corps from 1951 to 1955, where he was a corporal and served as a rifle and pistol instructor. After serving in the Marine Corps, Monti was the department commandant for the Marine Corps League. Monti is now commander of VFW Post number 3197. He has been married to his lovely wife, Ana Montenegro. Is she here today? She's our former city treasurer, and please send her our regards. She was a former city treasurer for 57 years. They have 3 boys and 2 girls, and they've also have 4 grandsons, 4 granddaughters, ranging in ages from 9 to 30 years old. So with that, please let's welcome Monty Montenegro.
Thank you very much, and it's a pleasure to be here. I feel honored, believe me. At this time, I would like to, you join me, everybody stand up and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. 2, thank you. Thank you very much.
Now at this time, I'd like to introduce a wonderful talent in our community. He's joined us in the past, and it is a great pleasure to see him again. His name is Cody Squires. Let's give him a round of applause, and as he makes his way up. Cody Squires is a Sierra Vista High School alum. While attending Sierra Vista, Cody was involved in water polo and choir. Cody's passion was singing, and it showed since he received the Director's Award for Outstanding Service all 4 years. His contributions led the choir to California State Choir Championships 3 years straight. Currently, Cody is attending Rio Hondo Community College, pursuing his general education classes with a goal in mind of obtaining a Bachelor of Arts degree in Human Services from the University of California, Santa Cruz. Excellent school. Not only is Cody a product of our school system, he is one of our own city employees. Cody is a recreation leader for the Department of Recreation and Community Services at the Baldwin Park Teen Center and Skate Park. So let me introduce Cody Squires, who will be singing the national anthem for us. Thank you.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Wow. Doesn't he remind you a little bit of Josh Groban? He's got a beautiful voice. Thank you, Cody, and our best wishes to you as you pursue your higher education as well. At this point, I'd like to introduce Councilmember Susan Rubio, who will be introducing our dignitaries. Thank you.
Good morning again. You're going to have to bear with us. I know we introduced a lot of people earlier today, but we just saw a lot of people trickling in, and we also want to make sure every single person is acknowledged. So thank you so much for being here. It's always a pleasure for me to be among all our community members, our city leaders, especially our surrounding other elected officials. It's always a privilege to come together and just collaborate. We always work together. So thank you, everyone from every other city that's joined us today. We really appreciate your presence. So I'm going to start with our city officials. Let's start with our mayor, Manuel Lozano, to my left. Our Mayor Pro Tem, Monica Garcia. Councilmember Marlene Garcia. Councilmember Ricardo Pacheco. Our City Treasurer, Maria Contreras. Our City Clerk, Alejandra Avila. Myself, Susan Rubio, Council Member. And from our wonderful School Board of Education, we have Jack B. White, our President. I would also like to acknowledge the rest of the members that are not here, but they're always so gracious to loan us their facilities and work with us. So I would like to acknowledge Blanca Estela Rubio, Vice President. Cristina Lucero, Member. Hugo Sack, Member. Teresa Vargas, Member. From our Valley County Water District Board of Directors, we have President Lane Pacheco. Vice President Mariana Lake. Newly appointed Ken Woods. General Manager Linda Noriesa. And as always, I want to take this time to acknowledge our team here in the City of Baldwin Park. As we all know, an organization doesn't prosper, doesn't move forward, and it's not the best that it can be with the people behind the scenes not working as hard as they do. So I really just in general want to just applaud them for what they do. And let me start with our executive team, which is our Chief Executive Officer, Vijay Singhal. Our Chief of Police, Lily Hatzo. Our Director of Recreation and Community Services, Manuel Carrillo Jr. Our Community Development Manager, Mark Castanola. Our Personal Risk Manager, Leticia Lara. Our City Attorney, Joe Pannoni. Our Director of Public Works, Daniel Wall. From Recreation and Community Service Commission, we have Cecilia Bernal, Commissioner. Joanne Watkins, Commissioner. And I would like to take this time to acknowledge Louise Duran, who's sitting right here. She's also related to one of our commissioners. Thank you so much for being here. Please allow me to take this moment. I know you've had some challenging times, so I'm so blessed to have you here sitting with us. Thank you so much. And from our Planning Commissioner, we have David L. Muse. Commissioner George Silva. From our Personnel Commission, Barry Liu, Commissioner. And then we do have other officials from our neighboring cities. We have Victoria Martinez, Councilmember, City of El Monte. John Kerr, Senior Director, Baldwin Park Adult and Community Center. We have from Public Relations at Kaiser Permanente, Reina Del Jaro. And from Waste Management, we have Carolyn Anderson. Terry Muse from Waste Management. And our President of the Historical Society, Robert Bembo. Chief Operations at Kaiser Permanente, I'm sorry, I skipped you, Payman Pashon. So I want to apologize if we left anyone else, but I also like to send a welcome to our Baldwin Park Sister Cities group, who's also here. We also have members of our Baldwin Park Women's Club, so I'd like to welcome them as well. We also want to acknowledge our newly elected Congresswoman to this district. We really want everyone to get to know her. Really, she's so open and welcoming to all of us. So please get to know her office, her staff, and we'd like for you to stand up so we can acknowledge you, Congresswoman Grace Napolitano. We also have Susan Reyes from the office of Dr. Ed Hernandez. And Amy Harbin, we're so sorry. Thank you so much. Once again, thank you so much and enjoy. Thanks.
At this time, I would like to invite Councilmember Marlene Garcia. Please give her a big hand.
Thank you again. And I am here to introduce our mayor of the city of Baldwin Park. And really, there are really not so many words to introduce this man who is well known not only in the city of Baldwin Park, throughout our region, and if not through our county. I've had the pleasure of working with the mayor since before I was elected in 1999, and we all know his story of his introduction to the city of Baldwin Park when his hubcaps were stolen the night that they moved in. And so the wonderful thing about that is it shows you his commitment to this community, because that didn't dissuade him from moving out of the city of Baldwin Park, but he stayed here and began to make changes in this community. And the important thing is that he got involved in the city of Baldwin Park to make it a community where more families would want to move in and raise their children and eventually bring back their grandchildren and create that legacy time and time again here in this beautiful city of Baldwin Park. I've had the honor and pleasure of working with Mayor Lozano prior to his being elected as his campaign manager and eventually as a commissioner for the Recreation and Community Services, and then they cornered me to run for office, and so now as a council member working with him for many, many years and really admiring his leadership in so many ways. This is a man who I can tell you firsthand has a passion for his community. I'm sure many of you on many occasions have tried to reach him on his cell phone, and his cell phone is full because so many people rely on him for all of the issues that are affecting the city, or just to thank him for something wonderful that happened to them here in this community. I've known him to be on the go from 6 o'clock in the morning to very late at night, representing the number of residents. We have 78,000 residents here in our community, and he's out and about meeting with residents, listening to their concerns. If someone passed away in this community and he becomes aware of it, the mayor is there visiting with the families, assisting them with any of their needs as they say farewell to their loved ones. He is there if a family is hungry. He is there if a family is suffering through some challenge in life. He's a counselor to so many people, and he's a father to so many youth. It's amazing how just to watch his interaction with the teens in our community. I've had that opportunity to witness that, and how the children look up to him, and he speaks to them as if he is a very concerned father, and in a lot of cases he is. I can attest to that because he's been such a role model to my very own children. And so again, a true leader is someone who inspires leadership in others, and this is what this mayor does for so many individuals. He encourages our youth to go on to college, shares his personal story of how he didn't start going to college or attending college until he was about 23 years old. So I think there's still hope for my son. And so he really encourages the youth to move on in life and do something better and something good for their communities, but never forget the community that gave to them, like he never forgets the community that gave to him when he moved into the city of Baldwin Park. Ladies and gentlemen, our mayor, our fearless mayor, Manuel Lozano.
First, I want to thank you, Councilmember Marlene Garcia, who I've known and cherished for many, many years. When she says I'm well known probably throughout the county, a lot of people get me mixed up with Lee Baca, the sheriff from LA County. As I've told the sheriff last year during an event over at one of my friends' home, I said, Sheriff, a lot of people think both you and I look alike. Yeah, I've heard that. He says, but I was clear and up front. I said the difference between both he and I is that I'm much more handsome. So he acknowledged that. First, before I go on, want to thank our Congresswoman for making the time out of your busy schedule, flying in from Washington, D.C. You're newly elected to our district, and you not only represent Baldwin Park, and we know that. There's multitude of cities, but we thank you for being here today, and also want to continue working with you. And one thing I will ask is that a lot of our residents, it's not part of the speech, but I'll just say real quick, about the trains and the loud horn that goes on. And I know both you and I kind of discussed that, and we're hoping that we'll reach some type of an agreement with the Metrolink through your office mediating that. So thank you, Congressman Grace Napolitano, for being here. Before I also forget, I want to also thank Laura Santos. We forgot to introduce you. She is an elected official from Bassett Unified School District. So I want to say gracias, ni hao, and thank each and every one of you for being here today on this beautiful day. And the speech today is going to be very short. Hopefully it won't go past 20 minutes. It's important for us to know that the city and the country itself has been clearly affected by the recession, and Baldwin Park has not been immune to that. That's why, as the mayor here today, and obviously there are a total of 4 of us, or 5 of us that are elected, we have differences of opinion, and I understand that, and I respect that. And part of it, we have agreed to disagree, and it's important for each and every one of us to keep that in mind, because at the end of the day, it's about Baldwin Park. It's about survival, and it's about making certain that we make the right decisions for each and every one of us here today. First, I just want to say that this year will be a different kind of speech. It's not about our awards, our summer concerts, our street paving projects. It's mainly about our future. All of us, you and I, have been working very hard. Facing challenges, paying bills, smiling to our children, we have kept on working hard, and even harder, thinking that everything would be better soon. The recession would end, our jobs would get easier, more money would come. But it's time to stop and take a breath. It's time to stop and make some tough choices. Our city is facing ongoing financial challenges that simply cannot sweep into the future for our children to clean up. It's time to take a breath and decide what kind of community we want to create for ourselves, what kind of community we do want to leave for our families and for our longtime residents. I believe we share the same vision for the Baldwin Park of our dream. I see a place where our kids can enjoy their childhood, where they are excited to learn and supported on their path to college careers. I envision a safe neighborhood where we are free to live, work, play, and shop. I envision a city where we can take care of each other and share a sense of community. We provide opportunities for our children and give our seniors the programs and services they so deserve. I envision a place with vibrant shopping centers and busy office buildings, a place where our residents can find good-paying jobs at any age. I see a city with pride in parks, community centers, and streets, with no trash or graffiti, easy commute, and walkable neighborhoods. And I see a city that is fiscally strong, able to provide and invest in a bright future. But that vision will take action. Despite our very best efforts, today, the City of Baldwin Park is spending more than we earn. We are taking from our reserves to balance our budget. And at home, it would be like you tapping into your savings to buy groceries and to keep your lights on. It works for a while, but it doesn't end well. This is a problem that won't go away on its own. Right now, here today, I am calling on all of us to take this moment to take charge and bring our vision to life. First, I'd like to give you an honest look at where we are and how we got here. The recession hit everyone, but recovery has been much harder for Baldwin Park. During these tough economic times, we stopped eating out, stopped buying new cars, stopped staying in hotels, and canceled our cable. This climate has affected our city budget across the board. Baldwin Park took a big hit on sales tax, property tax, utility user tax, hotel tax, the revenues that make up a majority of the city's income. And we have very few options for building it back. Baldwin Park has a small tax base. We do not have vacant land to build new shopping centers or car dealerships. Along with these cities up and down the state, we've lost our redevelopment program. for a long time, redevelopment helped Baldwin Park build a Walmart and a Target and created new jobs and brings in millions of dollars to invest in our city. But that program is no longer available to us. While our revenues has dropped, our costs have increased. Over the past 2 years, employee retirement and medical costs have skyrocketed. The statewide retirement benefit our employees call CalPERS lost big in the stock market, and contributors have no choice but to make up the loss. To Baldwin Park, that meant an additional contribution from the city of $800,000 in 2012 alone. These costs are beyond our control, but ignoring them would cause great harm not only to our current and future retirees, but to the financial health of our city. If we do not immediately start setting aside money now for the future payments, our liability will balloon beyond control and in just 30 years. Faced with these facts, we've done everything possible to balance our budget, meet our obligations, and keep up with the basic needs of our community. Public safety remains our top priority, and we've sacrificed to protect our police force from cuts. With the state releasing prisoners early, and with increases in our population and the cars on our streets, we realize there's more need for police, not less. We've invested the bulk of our city's general fund to our outstanding police force, and that number has remained untouched. This investment has paid off, thanks to our patrol officers, canine units, and aerial bureau. The city's homicide, property crime, and assault rates were down in 2012, while arrests for burglaries increased. The department removed reckless drivers from our streets, and 3 of our officers were honored by Mothers Against Drug Driving. Let's show them an appreciation. Over the past 4 years, we have increased the police budget while cutting from other city departments. We have reduced our non-police workforce through attrition, and for the first time in 15 years, we were forced to lay off valued employees, something we never thought we would have to do. We are left with staffing levels that are lower by far than any of our neighboring cities. You may not have noticed these cuts because our remaining staff is simply working harder, handling many more duties without the cost of living increases they so deserve. Every city department has greatly streamlined their operations and cut spending while continuing to serve the community. While coordinating a smaller but no less successful list of community events, concerts, classes, services, Recreation and Community Service Department won us numerous grants and partnerships to upgrade Barnes Park, create fitness zone at Morgan Park, and add healthy vending machines citywide. Their efforts helped Baldwin Park win a Playful City USA Award and recognition from the California Park Recreation Society in 2012. Our Public Works Department won nearly $2 million in grants for public improvement. They continued work on a new transit center near City Hall, rehabilitated streets, and made traffic safety improvements near our schools while working steadily to maintain a city facility. Our Community Development Department secured significant grants to cut energy use, fight obesity, and create safe routes to school. They brought new stores to our refurbished Park Plaza, renovated homes for deserving families, and won Baldwin Park several major awards, including environmental honors and most business-friendly city in the county. These accomplishments are impressive, but with our skeleton crew stretched to the limit, it's inevitable that you see more and more impacts on the quality of our program and services. We no longer have employees devoted to sidewalk repair, landscape maintenance, code enforcement, or graffiti abatement. We can't afford to have staff dedicated to recruiting new businesses development, which are vital to bringing in jobs and revenues. Our city vehicles are aging. Our sewer system will need expensive repairs within the next decade. We spend a very small percentage of our general fund on public work projects at an amount that won't cover all of our needs. We need money to patch potholes, repair curbs and sidewalks, pave our streets, and maintain city buildings. We have made significant cuts to recreation and community services. We have reduced hours of operations at all of our recreation facilities and cut services that seniors and families rely on. We have gone without programs for our kids. Our Easter egg hunt, Halloween Fest, 4th of July fireworks show, and breakfast with Santa has been eliminated. But none of these cuts has saved us. On a shoestring budget, our city's expenses still outpace our revenue. We are depleting our reserves by $500,000 every year. Something must be done. If we do not take action, the results could be devastating. Our revenue drops while our expenses grow, and we bury our heads in the sand. Our annual deficit will continue to grow until we are facing insurmountable debt and possible bankruptcy. Strapped for cash, we might have to close our community centers. Our parks would be quiet. You see more graffiti and potholes. Celebrations, health fairs, and college recruitment events would be canceled. We would use up our reserves until there's nothing left. Baldwin Park's trademark, City Pride, could become a relic of the past, and we could end up with sky-high debt that will shatter our vision for the future. To me, this is not an option. To fully fund our public safety operations and provide for our retirees, Baldwin Park needs new revenue stream from $3 to $5 million every year. We, the City Council, initially considered a tax. We considered 3 options. In October, the City Council thoroughly explored the idea of creating a new public safety tax that would be the answer to our troubles. Targeted specifically at our city's largest and most important expense, public safety, the tax would shore up finances, protect our reserves, and shelter our city from bankruptcy. We could raise the utility tax that all of us pay on our electric, gas, water, and phone bills, boosting the tax from 3% to 6%, which would generate $2.1 million every year. Or we could raise our sales tax so that anyone shopping in Baldwin Park would pay an extra cent for every dollar of their purchase. Other cities have led that way, including El Monte, Pico Rivera, Southgate, and the Los Angeles Mayor Antonio Villaraigosa is recommending a similar tax on his city's March ballot. While most sales tax revenues go to the state and county, a 1 cent increase would generate $5 million every year for Baldwin Park. Or we could take a citywide vote and create a parcel tax. Each one of Baldwin Park's properties would pay an additional $150 to $300 on their property tax bill. We could generate up to $4.6 million every year. The numbers were enticing, but after hours of thoughtful debate, we decided we were also out of touch with reality. A sales tax would be an easy way out, but it would also force shoppers to other cities. Those pennies add up, and they are enough to make a struggling family go that extra mile to West Covina or Duarte for a better deal. Baldwin Park is already competing against nearby cities for precious tax dollars. West Covina recently opened a Walmart, and Covina has now a Home Depot. By shopping in Baldwin Park, you are investing in our community. We want our hard-earned dollars to stay here at our Walmart, at our Target, at our mom and pop stores. We want to support our local business owners, not drive their customers away. It also weighs heavily that we have already paid enough. You have lived through this tough recession just as we have. Our small businesses owners have lost customers, and those who remain are spending less. You are working hard to pay your bills, raise families, and help elderly parents. Your monthly expense grow just as ours have. The state and federal government were asking for their own tax increases on the November 2012 ballot. We all need a break. Now it is not the time to ask for even more sacrifice. And finally, a public safety tax will protect our police operations, but it wouldn't give us a single cent to restore our non-police workforce, to relieve our overworked staff, or restore the programs we've enjoyed for so many years. The City Council was unanimous that we did not want to tax our residents. As you can see, we have asked ourselves every question and weighed every option. We've taken a hard look at our challenges. We have stepped back to measure just how far we are from our vision. Which ideas will help our city in the long term? Which ideas won't overburden our residents and business owners? Which will bring Baldwin Park more jobs, help our kids stay in school, and help us take care of our seniors? Which options will give us the money we need to maintain what we already have, our streets, our parks, and community centers? And the biggest question of all, how can we avoid repeating the huge mistakes of other cities? Stockton is an example of a city that spent more than it had promised too much, and it recently became the largest U.S. city ever to declare bankruptcy. And it affected everyone in the city. Banks repossessed city buildings, employees lost their benefits overnight, Stockton's home value dropped, and foreclosure skyrocketed. Property tax and revenue crashed, business closed, and jobs dried up. Homicide rates grew. Stockton's unemployment is now almost 20%. In Baldwin Park, it's clear that we need to work smarter. We have asked the Los Angeles County Sheriff's Department to submit a proposal for providing public safety services to the city of Baldwin Park. We are now in phase 2 of a comprehensive study to determine whether this idea is right for us. If approved, the Sheriff's Department would assume the duties of the Baldwin Park Police Department. I want to be clear that this plan is not final. No contracts have been signed. There is still much more information to gather and many strong arguments to be heard on both sides. And I want to also make it clear that it is not all the council members, because there is differences of opinion and we also need to respect that. And as we go on, we will have much further information as well. We have nothing but respect and admiration and gratitude for the men and women of the Baldwin Park Police Force. This is not where we had hoped Baldwin Park would be in 2013, but it is clearly where we have arrived. And it is our job as the city council members you have elected to make thoughtful, reasonable, difficult decisions for the greater good. The Sheriff's Department provides police service to 130 unincorporated communities and 42 cities, including Cerritos, Diamond Bar, Duarte, Industry, Norwalk, Pico Rivera, South El Monte, Temple City, and Walnut. A contract with the Sheriff's Department would allow us to tap into the county's network of resources. It's possible for us to safeguard our city more efficiently at significant savings while retaining local control. At our own request, the Sheriff's Department has submitted a plan that will save our city a lot of money in public safety costs every year while adding additional 20,000 hours of patrol service. Once phase 2 is complete, we will know exactly what we will be saving. The Sheriff's Department would operate a full-service station at our current police station 7 days a week. The proposal also includes 13 additional field patrol units, providing 24-hour coverage of our city. That coverage includes familiar faces. All Baldwin Park police officers who complete the required application package and pass the background process would be given the option to work for the sheriffs, providing continuity in our city. As our needs or our financial status change, the sheriff's proposal would allow us to quickly and efficiently make changes in staffing and services levels. We would have access to the sheriff's neighborhood watch program, volunteer on patrol, gang and drug prevention, and programs for at-risk youth. The city of Baldwin Park will continue to make all decisions about public safety in our community. We would continue to set the tone and expect the Sheriff's Department to be responsive, respectful, accessible, and accountable. Public safety would remain our top priority, and annual savings could be used to restore much-needed services and enhance existing programs. As I said, no decision has been made, and I know there is no easy answer. With any major decision, any amount of change comes discomfort, questions, and uncertainty. But I know that we will stand up to the challenge and arrive together at the right choice. As we consider our city's future over these next few months, I urge all of you to be involved, just as you have today. Educate yourself, read our city newsletters, challenge rumors and innuendos, ask questions, listen and weigh the answers. Be a solid part of the team seeking solutions. But most of all, I urge you to never take your eyes off our vision. It's completely within our reach to create a beautiful, safe, and vibrant city full of jobs, opportunities, programs, and services for residents, young and old. A city where our kids want to stay even after they've grown. A city where a sense of community is deeply felt and pride is obvious on every corner. A city with a strong financial foundation built to last for generations. This is the vision that I hold dear and will work hard to see fulfilled. I hope you will join us. Before we close, I would like to offer our sincere appreciation to the sponsors who made this breakfast possible. And again, the shortest speech ever that we've had. I want to thank the following individuals: Alshire and Weimer, LLP, thank you for making this possible. Alliance Environmental Group, Inc., Baldwin Park Flowers and Gifts, Delterra, Guadalajara Grill, Honeywell, Mariposa Landscape, Inc., Royal Coaches and Auto Body and Towing, United Maintenance System Corp., SCE Federal Credit Union, the Salsa Creative Services, Waste Management, West Coast Arboretist, Inc. So I want to thank all these sponsors and want to thank each and every one of you for taking the opportunity to be here today. Thank you and have a wonderful day. Thank you very much. Gracias. Thank you, Ricardo.